Well, hello everybody. You know, a couple weeks ago I upgraded from a Canon Rebel T1i to the Canon 7D. And I'm shooting this video with my T1i, I still have it. And I'm doing this video kind of to give you guys who have Rebel, the Rebel series cameras, kind of an idea of some of the more obvious things that you're going to notice if you are thinking about upgrading to a 7D, which I would highly recommend you do, by the way. I myself thought it was kind of a small step up, and it turns out to be a quantum leap up. Getting a lot better images. I can shoot a lot better video with it. I have a lot more control. It's a lot more, the 7D is a lot more customizable and a lot more user-friendly. It's a large step up. Some of the main things you're going to notice about the 7D are just the overall feel of it. Now, that's one of the main things that made me buy the camera, was when I got it in my hands. I have larger hands, and it has a larger grip. And the grip just feels better. It fits in your hand. So that's one of the first things you're going to notice. The next thing you're going to notice when you bring it up to your eye is the viewfinder is a 100% coverage. You can overlay grid lines in it. It's a translucent or a transmissive LCD or viewfinder, an electronic transmissive viewfinder. So without a battery in the camera, it's actually dark and cloudy because the crystals in the LCD laying there are in a relaxed state. So when I first picked up the camera and looked in the viewfinder, I about had a heart attack. I thought something was wrong. But when you get that battery in there, it changes your whole experience. So that's a totally different experience from the T1i. Another thing, the top of the camera, the mode dial is a better experience because it has 3 settings on here, C1, C2, and C3, that are totally customizable. You put any settings you want, from movie to you know, custom functions, auto, you know, the auto focus settings, anything you want, and save that to one of those C clicks on the dial. And all you have to do to go back to that is turn the dial. That is very, very nice and very handy. Another thing is the top LCD screen. I did not think I was going to like that, and it turns out it's very good on battery life, and with the ability to light it up in low light, it's very, very nice, and you can change any setting very easily. I really, really like it. While I'm on the subject of things I didn't think I would like when I got this camera, the joystick on the back was #1. I did not think I was going to like that joystick. I didn't think I was going to be able to get used to it, and it is great. From navigating around the menus to moving your autofocus points around, because it can go horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. Horizontally, vertically, and diagonally. So it's very, very nice to have. The large thumb wheel on the back, instead of on the Rebel series you have the 4 buttons. It does take some getting used to, but once you get used to it, you can do everything just as fast, if not faster. So that's a few things. You know, you're not going to be able to use your secure digital cards either. You have to go to compact flash cards, but I bought a mid-range card and it's worked fine. I can shoot as fast as I want, take as much video as I want. That's been fine. The flash on this camera has a built-in wireless speed light controller, so you know, that's an upside. It also has a button on here that the Rebel series does not have, that if you shoot JPEGs most of the time and you come on a situation where you think you might have a keeper, touch that button once and your next shot will include a raw file. Then it'll go back to your original JPEG settings. So that's really nice. You'll be able to keep doing exactly what you're doing, but if you touch that button, your next shot will include the raw file. Very, very handy. This camera is just well thought out, very well thought out. Some of the things that are inside the camera, in the menus and stuff, that I've really been using. Number one, the Kelvin number on the white balance. So for instance, tungsten white balance that a lot of people will use when shooting indoor, because that's what light bulbs are, is tungsten, is approximately 3200 K or Kelvin. Well, this camera has a Kelvin setting where you can choose any Kelvin number. So if you don't like 3200 for your indoor, inside your house, because maybe you have some light coming through a window or something, you can change that to say 3400. If it looks a little better that way, change it to that. It just a little bit of a tweak here and there, and you start adding those up, and you come out with better images. And I'm starting to really realize the picture settings. Now this is something that the T1i and the Rebel series does have. The picture styles, where you can control the contrast, saturation, sharpness, that kind of thing. This camera also has that, and I would suggest you use it. The white balance shift, I'm using that now. It's something the Rebel series, or at least the T1i has. I warm all my pictures up just a couple clicks, and that's one of those things I'm talking about. You start adding these little tweaks up and you start getting better images. The one thing I will mention with the 7D is the LCD brightness. It comes set to automatic, and that's probably one of the only flaws, or one of the only bad things I have to say about this camera, is it comes stock setting is the auto LCD brightness. You can barely see it outside, or at least I could barely see mine outside. So I would suggest, if you get one, you set that to manual first thing, so you can have the best experience possible. Turn it to manual, the LCD brightness, and set it to the brightness you want it to be all the time. And if you go outside or come inside, you know, turn it down or up. I like to just leave mine on total brightness, or 1 or 2 clicks below, and it seems to work fine. The autofocus and metering system on the 7D are a quantum leap above the T1i, especially the focusing system. And that's not to detract from the metering system, because it's vastly improved. But the focusing system is so... it can be as complex or as simple as you want it to be for your needs. It's as close to perfect as I can imagine one being right now at this point in time. I mean, I'm sure they'll get better, and maybe in a year or two, if this video is still out there, you know, we'll have far better than the 7D. But right now, it's as close to perfect as you can get. I can get sharp results, even with, you know, in almost any situation, I can get sharp focus. Let's just say that. It's a well thought out focusing system. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I've really got the feel for it. I'm still in love with it. We're kind of on our honeymoon, me and the 7D still. One thing I will say, I got the 18 to 135 EF-S lens with my 7D. If I had it to do over again, I would probably get the EF 24 to 135. Although I do like the wide range of this lens. it's probably not quite as sharp, and you cannot use it with full frame. Probably doesn't have the best, as good a resale value as the 24 to 135 EF lens does. But that's it. I actually like this lens, the 18 to 135. I know the 18 to 200 is a real popular lens for Canon right now, but the 18 to 135 is a great lens. It really is. It's a good lens. You want to stay away from the 18 and the 135, but if you want complete sharpness, but even if you don't, you'll get good results. It's a good lens. So anyway, the live view settings are about the same as the T1i. Of course, the movie mode is completely different from the T1i. Now, those of you with the T2i, it is closer to the 7D, but any other Rebel, the 7D is going to kill on movie mode. It's you have complete manual control over aperture, shutter speed, ISO, and complete control over exposure and a lot of other settings as well. So that's kind of a few of my thoughts. I would really recommend that you do upgrade if you're thinking about upgrading and you're not sure. That's kind of why I did this video, to walk through a few of the obvious differences. So hey, you guys keep shooting, and I don't know if I'll do another video on the 7D or not. Probably so. But for now, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.